You are welcome to our channel today, and in this channel we handle several topics that are of interest to you. Today we wanted to handle an issue that is of concern to the Kenyan people. Have you ever asked yourself why we have a real demand for real estate in our country, and especially Nairobi? And this is just not the normal the Kenyan people, but the strange issue is about the Somali people of the Somali origin. And have you ever asked yourself, where do they get all the money for these projects? And they're ready to buy at any price you will tell them. So today we're going to handle the issue. Where do the Somalis get all the money to buy all the properties, and in fact prime properties in Nairobi? It all started with Islay, taking Islay as the city. They moved to the CBD, most of Luthuli Avenue, businesses were taken over. They've gone to Biashara Street and gone to South Sea, and now of late we hear the Indians in Westlands and in Parklands are selling their properties. And these are the issues we should ask and ponder on as a country, and we should ask the hard questions. There is an influx of money from Somalia, corrupt officials, and business elites who distort the real estate market in Kenya. And now the question we should ask ourselves, why is it easy for this money to get into Kenya? Why not other countries? I'll advance around 6 reasons why this is so. Number 1, we have a weak government, and because of the long-standing struggle we have had against corruption. Now this is a loophole for them. We are corrupt to the core, and they have found a way to get to this country. So secondly, the Somali country is a fertile ground for unscrupulous actors, dealers, even drug dealers, and they siphon public money and international aid that maybe was come to help the country, and maybe they work with some of these people, and in essence they undermine the development and the exacerbating the poverty rate in Somalia. Thirdly, Nairobi is an attractive market to launder money because we have lax regulations and we have very weak enforcement structures. So based on this, they can launder the money and get away with it. The number 4 reason is this: most of these actors from the Somali region who come to a country, they employ a web of shell companies and offshore accounts, making it extremely difficult for authorities to track the illicit flow of funds. Number 5 reason is this: these Somali people, when they come here to buy property, they display the unusual willingness to pay for the properties at very inflated prices. We've had situations where somebody will ask you, what's the cost of this property of yours? If you say it's 2 million, he's willing even to pay double the amount. And then number 6 is, most of these guys from Somali who are coming here, they are high-ranking officials and politicians connected in the Somali government, and they are channeling millions of dollars into Kenya, into the real estate, and then they have to work with the authorities in Kenya. But again, our authorities are very weak, and then based on our weaknesses, and you understand our country the way it is, and then we know Somalia is unstable. just ravaged by war. It's just recovering cases of piracy and all that. So we have very weak regulations in Somali. We have the same in Kenya. So in essence, when this inflow of cash comes to the country, they distort our market real estate prices that some have soared up to nearly half, raising concerns on their affordability and if the local Kenyans can afford some of these properties or for their housing needs. Now, let me handle this question. How do they buy the property in Kenya? We have found out two ways in which they use. One, they choose agencies that are expertly managed to purchase there, to make their purchases, especially for a long-term investment plan. That's the number way they use. Number two, they use the traditional methods of directly acquiring properties and registering them under their family names and close associated names. The properties are later sold at higher interest rates, contributing to the dynamics and the nature of the market. Some of the KRA officials, Kenya Revenue Authority officials, have put a figure that around 90 to 100% of all most of the purchases of land in Kenya is being done by the people of the Somali origin. And now this raises the fundamental question. And foreign investors who genuinely want to invest in a country, homeowners and authorities are making assessments over the potential long-term effects it could have on market stability and the growth of this sector. We should ask ourselves those hard questions. The other way is the popular, the heart, which you normally call the mirror. Tax revenues and from the mirror imports in Somalia amounting to around $5 million a month are primarily collected in the form of mobile money. These funds are then converted into cash and smuggled into Nairobi by air, bypassing the Kenyan revenue authorities. Now, this has gotten the attention of authorities, especially the Kenya Revenue Authority, and it has raised the issues of tax evasion. But again, you know what has been our bane as a country? Corruption is the weakest link. So with this, they oil the system, they corrupt the system, they evade paying the taxes, and they allow the illicit cash to flow to our country. Now, as a country, we should find a way of dealing with these issues before it consumes us, because we have allowed our country to be a ground where all manner of guys can play around here, and that doesn't do well for us and for those who want to invest genuinely in our country. We should find a way of dealing with this issue. Let us have the normal market dynamics playing, but not have a situation where we have a lot of illicit flow of cash, which is now competing with genuine cash earned by the Kenyan people. I appeal to authorities and the Kenyan government to act on this matter as soon as possible before it gets out of hand. Thank you for watching.